Good evening. Welcome to Grandma's Attic Music Review. Sometimes right before the show starts, really weird things get conversated about, and sometimes the conversations start and then we go into the show and we have to stop the conversation. Never mind. You'd never understand out there in TV land. You'd never understand, but I'm so glad you're with us tonight. So, over a year ago, I'm just going to say, over a year ago, my dear friend that sends music to me all the time sent me a film on Facebook that said, you got to check this guy out. And usually she's right. And I did. And I reached out and I was like, I need you to come on my show. And he was all about it. And then he got COVID. So that didn't happen. And it's taken all this time to get him here. And I'm really excited because I love his music. He's all about the originals, just like I am. He's not going to sing a cover tonight. He's going to sing all original music, and you're going to get to know a little bit about him because his songs tell a story, and you're going to enjoy it. So get yourself something to drink, maybe some popcorn or maybe a little dry good or whatever you want to do. I know how you all are out there. Settle down. Please welcome into your heart and into your home, Bryan Titus.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Dot.
You're welcome.
My name is Bryan Titus, and I'm from Middletown, Connecticut. And you were saying Julie Andrews would say it was a good place to start at the beginning, so that's what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about my grandparents. You know, my grandparents were both farmers, and they were farmers in Middletown, Connecticut, Maple Shade Farms. And I live in their old house now. And so this first song that I'm going to play for you guys is a song about how farmers fall in love. It's called Pokey Little Beanpole, and it's a good example of a little barn dance romance. Here we go. Well, Jimmy Johnny Jack was skinny as a beanpole, wore out his jeans, poked his foot through the knee hole, walk around town, smile at the people, pokey little beanpole. Billy, Mary, Mac weren't so easy on her eyes. She never made a pie that she didn't want to try. But she worked in the field past the evening time, a 2:43 and a 6'5". Some say opposites will attract her. When you meet your little baby, you would train on the track. Johnny don't care if his corn gon' crack. He'll carry Millie Mary if it breaks his bag. Yeah. Now Millie could sew, she could plow. She said she never need no man around. But when the weekend come and she going to the town, she holding up the barn wall over at the hold down. But Johnny didn't work, he was thin as a stick. But he could pick a banjo and he could cut a rug and he could call a step till he's red as a fire plug. But never had a date or a kiss or a hug. Some say opposites will attract, and when you meet your little baby, you will train on the track. Johnny don't care if his corn gon' crack. He'll carry Millie Mary if it breaks his back. Yeah. All right. Now here is a church, here is a steeple. Open up the doors and see all the people. Millie, Mary, Mac, Jack, happy as can be. Old Mary, Jimmy, Johnny, that pokey little beanpole. All right. Now some say opposites will attract, and when you meet your little baby, you a train on a track. Johnny don't care if his corn gon' crack. He'll marry Millie, Mary if it brings his back. Some say opposites will attract, and when you meet your little baby, you a train on a track. Johnny don't care if his corn gon' crack. He'll marry Millie, Mary if it brings his back. Yeah. All right.
Woohoo!
All right, so that's a song I wrote about my grandparents and trying to imagine how they first met. And I was born in Middletown, and I live there now. Lived all over the place, though. I actually moved back to Connecticut about 5 years ago, just in time for the pandemic, which is a wonderful time for musicians to experience the joys of true poverty. But I moved back here to kind of help my mom out as she transitions through this later stage of her life. You know, she's 84 now, and well, when I first got back here, let's just say my mom hadn't cleaned or anything in a long time because she was getting old and she couldn't do it. And my mom is very much like a creature of habit. So I wrote this next song for her, and it's going to be on my new album that's coming out, well, sometime soon. I have no idea when, really, but we're almost done recording it.
I'm pretty sure Grandma will let the world know when it comes out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. But anyway, you know, when you get used to listening to the same show or watching the same channel on TV or whatever, you know, you kind of get that set it and forget it mentality. And that's how my mom was. I grew up always listening to, was it WTIC 1080 with Bob Steele? However, that channel is not quite the same anymore. In fact, I think it actually might be a Fox News channel. So, you know, I had to kind of change my mom's radio station. So this is a song about me kind of unfoxing my mom a little bit. It's called The Radio Dial. It goes like this. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the right note. My mom always listened to the radio. Bob Steele told her everything she needed to know. In the car, in the kitchen, channel's always the same. On a late summer night for the Red Sox game, little by little things started to change. Somebody bought the station and they changed the name. Woo! Mancini roasted peppers never tried again. I never hear about him anymore again. I'm feeling like I missed out, wanna go back. Feeling like a life is a one-way track. Somewhere between childhood and the end of my days, like I was reading a book and I skipped a few pages. Now mama's getting older, she's a creature of habit. Ain't got no use for an iPhone or any kind of gadget. She finally got a TV, but better likes to read. Clips out stuff from her magazines. She makes little piles that she wants to keep. Well, I put them in the trash when they get knee deep. Now tell me, what was it like in the good old days? And was it always that good for everybody? What you doing now? Did Grandma do the same? At what point in my life do I go insane? I feel it coming now, it ain't too far. So I changed the radio to the NPR. Changed the radio to the NPR. Changed the radio to the NPR. I changed the radio dial to the NPR. Radio dial to the NPR. I feel it coming now, it ain't too far. So I changed the radio dial to the NPR. Woo-hoo! I did it too. That's a true story. Now, my dad was actually not from Connecticut originally. He's from Ohio originally, but he taught at Wesleyan University in Middletown for almost 40 years. And
Wow.
he, like me, and I think actually I can trace my love for nature back to him. He was all about the birds. In fact, he actually was one of the founders of the Mattabeesett Audubon Society, which is in Middletown, Connecticut. And, he also liked to have a drink every now and again. So this next song is about a place in Durham, actually, that I love called Miller's Pond. And I was out there hiking on those blue blaze trails that go around. I think it's called part of the Metacomet Trail, maybe. But I accidentally disturbed a den of turkey vultures. Did you know that they live in caves in cliffs? I didn't, but I found out. So that got me thinking about.
I bet they weren't happy either.
No, exactly. This big old bird came flapping out, and I thought, dear Lord, this is the end of me. So that's kind of what this song is about. This is another one that's going to be on the new record. So this introduces you to my love of nature. It talks a little bit about my dad. And it just is, imagine all the different ways that we can complete the circle of life, if you will. This song is called Turkey Vultures Are Pecking on My Bones.
Oh, my.
Yes, I roved out on some blue blaze trail. Oh, out by the old Miller's Pond. Well, I came upon a crag and a great winged bird flew up and carried me off, oh Lord. She flew up and carried me off. Well, I cried, great creature, for what have you done? You absconded so rudely with my mama's son. If I have offended, I must make amends. Just grant that you'll fly down again, oh Lord. Grant that you'll fly down again. For the nest of the vulture has young just the same, and mama is carrying me home. Well, a fall from great heights makes a tender repast. Turkey vultures pecking on my bones, oh Lord, there's turkey vultures pecking on my bones. Now as Daddy drove drunkish down old Route 9, his eyes ever turned toward the sky. Mark the upturned feathers of a carrion bird crossing that double yellow line. Oh Lord, we're crossing the hard yellow line. For the nest of the vulture as young just the same, and mama is carrying me home. Well, a fall from great heights makes a tender repast. Turkey vultures pecking on my bones, oh Lord, there's turkey vultures pecking on my bones. Get down. So as I sailed high through that bright blue sky, aghast at this marvel, my first and last flight, the nest of the vulture as young just the same, and mama is carrying me home. Well, a fall from great heights makes a tender repast. Turkey vultures pecking on my bones, oh Lord, there's turkey vultures pecking on my bones. Turkey vultures pecking on my bones, oh Lord, there's turkey vultures pecking on my bones. Yeehaw. But yeah, so my dad got me started with my love of nature, and that's why, the environment and our trails and not littering are all really important things to me. In fact, I was inspired by my wife, actually, to go hike the Appalachian Trail. She and I started together on March 21st, 2013. And we hiked and we hiked and we hiked. And she broke her, her leg, her fibula, the lower bone of the rear bone of her lower leg. And she had to get off the trail. And she kept me hiking, and I finished the Appalachian Trail on October 15th, 2013. And it was hard. So I'm going to sing you guys a song that I wrote about a specific night. I was on top of Mount Greylock, which is in northwestern Massachusetts, just below the Vermont border. And I had one of those moments where I had this little moment of clarity, and I thought to myself, how lucky am I to be able to do this, to be on this journey? And I wrote this song. It's called The Road, and it's just dedicated to this journey of life that we find ourselves on. This will be on my CD that's also called The Road, so it'll be easy to remember if you're looking for that CD. All right, here we go. Fog climbs thick on the mountain, the air hangs heavy on the breeze. The full moon wearing out her halo, the night as quiet as a thief. And I want you to steal me. Yes, I want you to steal. So where the road I'm following is filling up a hollow in my soul, will grow around it. My soul will go unbound and fly. Left it all to be here among the quiet of the trees. To hear without distraction what it is that my heart needs. Yes, I need you to heal me. Yes, I need you to heal. Soul will grow around it. My soul will go unbound and fly. Yeah, I'm gonna fly. Yeah, I'm gonna fly. Oh, oh. So, oh. My soul will grow around it. My soul will go unbound. Thank you very much. So, for all my music nerds out there, if you were paying attention and playing along at home, you'll know that that song ends on the 4 chord instead of the 1, indicating that the road is still out there to be traveled. It is unresolved. We're going to keep going. That's the plan. All right, cool.
So a lot of people don't know that, but let me tell you what happens when people do that to a DJ.
Oh.
Like if I'm listening to a song like I haven't heard before, and the song ends on that chord instead of on the first chord,
Yep.
you kind of wait
Yep.
before you shut it off because you're waiting for it to end.
To
I'm
go back
getting
here.
used to people doing that now because people have really started doing a lot more of that.
Art.
In the after 2000, it really became like a thing. And after 2010, it really was like almost normal. I'm waiting for the song to finish.
To resolve.
Yeah.
Right? To resolve. I hear
But
you,
that's
I hear you.
great that you ended it that way because that song might need more verses someday,
Maybe.
or a sequel.
I think we always, are going to keep writing verses to that song for me because the journey that we're on just doesn't stop until it does. Well, that's another story. That's another song.
That's
too.
another journey.
Oh man, it is. So the next song that I want to play for you is another new song that's going to be on my new record, and this was a first for me. My wife Katie and I actually wrote a song together. And we didn't get divorced, so that's cool. Sometimes when you do something creative together, you're both passionate people. You tend to argue about what word we should use and what preposition goes in the past participle, and I don't know. Anyway, she's smarter than I am, so she probably knows the grammar part of it better than me. But we had just moved back to Connecticut, and my wife is from a small town in Minnesota, and I grew up here in Connecticut. And we had been living in Boston and Los Angeles and other places in California, Ojai, Santa Barbara. But we were back in my hometown, and we were both kind of comparing notes about like what it was like to grow up in a small town and sort of feel like a little bit of an outsider, being like artsy fartsy kid over here, and my wife just being, a little bit of a hellion. So we kind of made a list of all the different experiences that we had, the good, the bad, the funky, and we put them into this song. And I guess the main thing that I want people to take away from this song, though, is that, all the experiences that we have are what makes us who we are. So even the bad ones, you kind of just got to accept them and see what you could learn from them. And everything, all of it goes together and makes this one life our life. And hopefully we're all having the best life that we can have, all right? So this song is called Best Life. And again, this is going to be on my new record. All right, here we go. Like a farmhouse hidden down a gravel road, like the patched up jeans that your mama sold, like a letter in the mailbox when you get home, like holding on tight then letting go. 'Cause a million different moments, a million different trade-offs, a million different memories, what a life is made of. And I'm building my best life one day at a time. I'm singing my best song with every rhyme and looking back on my time, yeah. Yes, I'm building my best life. Yes, I'm building my best life. Like the sun on hay when it's getting tall, like smoking cigarettes in a bathroom stall, like getting up the courage to make that call, like Friday night paycheck alcohol, like the smell on the air when it's gonna rain, like singing loud windows down cruising on Main. Like if you could go back, what would you change? Like better or worse, baby, not a damn thing. different trade-offs, a million different memories, and what this life is made of. I'm building my best life one day at a time. I'm singing my best song with every rhyme and looking back on my time, yeah. Yes, I'm building my best life. 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 Like someone special saying yes, like saying goodbye to your parents, like being afraid your life's a mess. So give and get some tenderness, 'cause a million different moments, a million different trade-offs, a million different memories, what my life is made of. And I'm building my best life one day at a time. I'm singing my best song with every rhyme and looking back on my time. Just looking back on my time, yeah. Yes, I'm building my best life. Yes, I'm building my best life. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, man. And that's what we're going for, right? We're trying to have a good life here. That's what we're trying to do. I feel pretty lucky to be getting to do this music thing full time now. So in a lot of ways, I feel like I finally am like reaching that point where I'm like, I'm doing the thing that I've always wanted to do. So awesome. Thank you so much for the support of this show and for the people here in Connecticut. Thank you for supporting live music and coming out to see people play original music. I know we have a lot of great cover bands, but we also have a lot of great people that are making their own songs and telling their own stories. And I'd like to just, shine that spotlight on those folks a little bit,
Me too.
Right? Hey, thanks for having me.
It's what I do.
All right. So let's see here. I told you about my grandparents. I told you about my mom. I told you about my dad. I told you about my wife a little bit. Let me sing you guys a song that I wrote about. It's actually not about my brother, but it was inspired by my brother. My brother also, grew up in Middletown and Cromwell. He went to Xavier High School, and when he graduated from college, he went to teach English in Japan. And then he met a Japanese girl, and then they got married, and then they lived in Japan. And then he was thinking to himself, I assume, well, Japan's pretty far away from Connecticut, but I feel like I could probably go a little further. So he moved to Australia. Especially during the pandemic, I got to talking with him a lot more thanks to the miracle of technology and, not having to pay long distance for phones and just being able to do a Facebook video chat with him. We got back in touch a lot, which was really cool. However, every time I would get in touch with him, it's literally the exact opposite time,
Right.
So if I'm waking up and drinking coffee, I'll call him up and he's into his second bottle of wine or something, you know what I mean? Or vice versa. I'd call him on the way back from a gig and he'd be just waking up and I'd be all excited and he'd be like, oh, dude, what, why? It's so early, But that got me thinking about how, when the sun is going down on me, it's coming up on the other side of the world. And again, that cyclical nature of life, when things are not going well for me, maybe they're going good for somebody else, And I'm all about hope right here. And so this is a song about, hope. And, even when things are a little bit weird, they might be going good, they might be changing. So just hold on to that and keep on trucking. The song's called The Sun Is Coming Up on the Other Side of the World. Well, the sun is coming up on the other side of the world, and I'm headed out to Roseville, gonna see about a girl. Watch her making margaritas as the sun goes down at a sleepy old cantina on the edge of town. Ruby doesn't know where she's gonna sleep tonight. The enemy man is good and drunk again, looking for a fight. She might head on out of Roseville after the sun goes down. She might pick out a direction and never turn around. 'Cause the sun is coming up on the other side of the world. She's got a heart full of daydreams and a head full of curls, with her arms around her baby as the sun goes down on a seedy little motel where she can't be found. Ooh. The sun can go and drown down in the deep blue sea. See, all them gaudy colors don't do much for me. Me, I like the nighttime when there ain't no stars, and you can't see my eyes and you can't see my heart. 'Cause the sun is coming up on the other side of the world, and I'm headed out to Roseville, gonna see about that girl. But you can't hold back a sunset, so just let it unfurl. And remember, the sun's coming up on the other side of the world. Yeah, the sun's coming up on the other side of the world. Oh, 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 oh. The sun's coming up on the other side of the world. Thank you so
Woohoo!
much.
Brian, you want to come over and talk to me?
Oh, absolutely, I do. Here, let me take my guitar off and I'll head on over.
So while Brian's while Brian's coming over here, I'm going to hold up his CDs that he gave me. Or maybe I'm not. I don't know. What's going on here? I don't know where my camera is, and it doesn't matter. Anyway, Brian's going to come over. Hold him up. Okay. So this is the older one.
Still have hair, right?
This is the next one after that. And this is the newer one, but this is the newer one. This is the older one. This is the middle one. And this is the newer one. But you know what? There's going to be an even newer one, and I'm going to have it on my TV show and on my radio show. Yay. He doesn't know all that yet, but he will. Hi, Brian. Hey. Oh, my gosh. So I already knew that the video that I got sent sparked me. And then I listened to some of your stuff, and I liked it, good enough to invite you here. But now I've seen you live. I am fully invested. I love what you do because there's a vested interest in what you're doing, and it's not everyday everybody's songs. Like, your songs are written differently, they're presented differently, and they're not the same old, same old.
No, thank you.
I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I have a lot of musicians that send me music and that come on my show. And one of the reasons I don't listen to Top 40 radio is because it all sounds the same. And one of the reasons I love originals is because it usually doesn't sound the same, but it kind of does. It kind of does, especially everybody's from Connecticut that I listen to, and it does. You don't.
Well,
You don't.
Thank you very much.
You don't. Who sings about turkey vultures?
Yeah, well, I think we're all, as songwriters, we have this desire to tell our own stories. And of course, we write songs about other things, but even when we're writing about other topics, little pieces of ourselves
Absolutely.
creep into them, So whether we want to or not, we are absolutely like autobiographing. Is that a word? It is now.
Autobiographical.
Yeah.
There we go.
But as a verb, So we're telling our own stories, even when we're telling other people's stories, we're sneaking bits of ourselves into them. And, I just happen to have a lot of weird, bits and pieces that make me up.
Weird is good.
Weird is
good.
The
So
only
how
thing.
did you go from, okay, I'm going to back up even further than that.
Sure.
When did you realize in your life that music was a bug that had bitten you?
Well, music was omnipresent in my household growing up. My grandmother on my father's side actually was a music teacher. She played classical piano, and she made my father play the violin and my uncle play the cello, and they played as like a family trio. They would play classical music.
Nice.
And my dad actually won some scholarships and that kind of thing because of his violin playing. So I also started on the violin when I was 4 years old. And there was no choice in the matter. I was just doing it,
Yep.
But, and then growing up, my mom always sang in the choir at church, and I sang in the children's choir, and I got my first solo, I think, when I was like 9 or something like that. And I always felt like I could sing. But the time that music really became like my own was just like for a lot of people, was in high school. I met a really good friend of mine whose birthday was actually yesterday. Happy birthday, Matt. My buddy growing up in Cromwell, Matt Zamidi, and I started a band together in his basement. And I started to write lyrics just because he was writing music and I was singing melodies and I needed words to say. So I started, writing those lyrics that didn't make any sense. But that's when I realized that I really, really enjoyed singing. It's a direct connection to what's in my heart and soul. It's the direct transference of what's inside to outside,
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. I don't know if everybody has that same thing. But I do know that when singer-songwriters such as yourself write from their heart, it gives people like me that don't write from I write, but I don't write songs. But music is that connector, and I'll hear you sang a song tonight. I don't remember what the name of it was, but it was about the girl holding the baby in the seedy motel. Mm-hmm. And boy, the feelings that were in that song were given a name here. Like you put a name to some feelings here that I didn't have a name for before. And oftentimes you singer-songwriters do that. You help people like me that don't know how to name our emotions, name them.
Yeah.
And thank you for that. What a gift. What a gift. So you decided in high school that you were going to be a songwriter.
Well, I just kind of became one, because we played covers in that band, but my friend was coming up with these cool guitar progressions, and then I was just singing over them, and, we needed some things to say, so I started making words that I thought sounded cool and poetic. And now I try to write with a little bit more sense of theme, and like I've really tried to stay away from the stream of consciousness and really kind of get to the point a little bit, But,
They could be really long songs if you didn't do that, I think.
Yeah, they can be really long songs anyway. But,
That's not a bad thing.
yeah.
That's not a bad thing. So you take experiences like being attacked by the turkey vultures, and put them to music. Take those words and put them to music. Do you feel like that your songwriting style is completely different from your peers?
I think everybody has a unique style. I think again, just like musical influences are a big part of what we write. You know.
And who are some of yours?
Well, I mean, my dad, not only was he the founder of the Matabesic Audubon Society, but he and his birdwatching buddies had a bluegrass band where
Cool.
all they did was sing songs that had birds in the lyrics or birds in the titles, and they would go around and tour the different Audubon clubs and stuff like that. So I grew up listening to that, but also listening to the Beatles and also listening to classical music. But as I grew older, I really kind of gained an appreciation for some of that music that I had heard growing up and didn't really think much of at the time, and realized that like bluegrass is a really interesting and kind of uniquely American
Oh my
thing.
gosh, it really
You know,
is.
it takes music from the Celtic tradition. It takes music that came with slaves from Africa.
Yep.
The banjo is an
Yep.
African
It is.
instrument. And it combines them all together. So that's, I love that synthesis and that, uniquely American rhythm, stories, like it all kind of is what I guess people are calling Americana these days.
It is. It
right?
is. Yeah.
So, I think that I just have such a respect and admiration for that. And one of the things that I think is the coolest about America is that we have all these different people and we have all these different influences, and we come up with these, again, unique synthesis of different cultures,
Yeah, genres cross lines all the time nowadays, and I'm so happy to see that. I'm not like a big TV person, and way after the fact, after the winter, season 19 of America's Got Talent, I ended up starting to watch it because I have a client that wants to be on it. It will never happen, but I was yeah.
On TV, you're on TV.
He's not. So anyway, so I started watching it, and the way that the musicians that were performing, there weren't a lot of musicians, but the ones that were there were crossing boundaries, genre-wise. And I love that. I just love that. And I love seeing that when you guys are out playing, when I go,
We're in trouble.
can I do my show? You better behave over there.
You got a new co-host.
Oh, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So anyway, I want to, how can people find you? Because people need to find you, because people need to know more about you. So let's tell them everything. First of all, where are you performing next?
Oh gosh, I have so many shows. Let me just tell people first to go to my website,
Yep,
which is
absolutely.
www.bryantitus.com. That's right, it's my name, BryanTitus.com. Go there, and you'll see a lot of places that I play because I'm a full-time musician. But there are some things coming up soon. In fact, even tomorrow, I'm going to be at Hops on the Hill in Glastonbury. That's October 13th.
Okay.
On Thursday, October 17th, I'll be at Surfridge Brewing Company, which is in Essex. It's right next to the steam train in the old Witch Hazel. That's a great spot that has been very kind to me and some other local musicians in giving us like a recurring gig on a Thursday. So I'm the third Thursday performer at Surfridge Brewing Company in
nice.
Essex every month, unless I have been in contact with someone who has COVID or something like that.
Yep,
Then I
yep.
might not go. The day after that, I'll be in East Hampton at Rule of Three Brewing, which is a great new brewery. Every time I go there, there are other brewers from other breweries at the bar drinking. So you know that they have good beer.
You know there's something going
You
on
know
with
they
that.
have good beer. and great folks. Then October 19th and 20th, I will be performing as part of the Apple Festival at Mystic Village. So that's pretty near here. So come on down on Saturday the 19th and Sunday the 20th.
Who booked you to that gig?
Oh, I don't know.
Was it Richard Douglas?
Nope. I think I was in touch with somebody on the board there. I think Jim Holly, who does the Garlic Festival, put me in touch with the folks for the Apple Festival. Yep.
Yeah, it's right across the bridge. So yeah. My really dear friend Richard Douglas books the Garlic Festival every year.
Oh, okay.
And it was a big deal this year.
Yeah,
So,
I was there, but I was inside Kitsch, the cookingware store.
you were performing.
I was playing. I played 3 hours of music, a lot of covers where I changed at least one word to garlic.
That must have been a lot of fun.
Oh man, Highway to the Garlic Zone. That was a good one.
There
Yeah,
you
yeah,
go.
yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
Anyway,
So let's talk about. So you've given us dates
I have
and
more
where
stuff.
do people find
let
you?
me say one
Are
more
you-
thing.
Yeah,
Which
please.
is, I'll be in California for a special show at Gainey Winery on October 26th. And then the thing that I'm really, really excited about is November 8th. My friend Sean Taylor
I know, Sean.
and Mark Apostolidis and I will be combining forces to do our Songs from the Trail series, where we sing songs and tell stories about our experiences doing long distance backpacking trips. And it's, we're going to have a slideshow with cool pictures that we took on our travels to get you in the mood. We're going to bring our sleeping bags and tents and set them up. So it's going to be a multimedia extravaganza. We're even going to smell
Where
like
is
hikers.
that?
It's going to be at Best Video in Hamden, which is
Okay.
a funky little spot. Really
Yeah,
cool,
it is.
really
Yeah,
cool
it is.
place.
And other people have performed there. If you make a thing about that,
I will make a thing.
and I will put it everywhere.
Ooh.
And that sounds like a gig that I want to come to because I know at least two of you. I don't think I know the third person you spoke
You're
of.
you're gonna love it.
But I think it sounds like something I'd really like to do.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Save
it's
the
not
date.
that long of a drive.
Friday,
So
November 8th.
I'm all over it. I'm all over it.
Yeah.
So while you sit down to write a song, what comes to you first, the melody or the words?
So to me, my process usually starts with guitar.
Okay.
So I love to just it's almost like meditation in a way. Like if I've had a big, difficult day, I will sit down and I'll just hang on to my guitar and, some chords will start to come and then I'll start to hear a melody. And then that's where it can go one of two ways. Either I will be inspired with some lyrics that just come like manna from heaven, and I'll start singing a song and it'll be done in 3 minutes, or I'll have this music that I love and I'll have an idea of a theme, and then I will have to painstakingly discover the David inside the block of marble of words. You know what I mean? Like I'll have to figure out how I'm gonna say what I want to say and marry it to the music that has inspired the feeling. So that's typically the two ways that it goes. Some of my best songs and my favorite songs have come like that, and some of my best and favorite songs I've worked on for years. Just
Wow.
tweaking little things here and there.
So you had a song that you and your wife wrote together.
Yeah.
Does she oftentimes sneak in bits and pieces of her talent into your music?
Absolutely. I mean, she whether she likes it or not, she is the inspiration for literally more than half of the songs that I've written. And most of them are love songs. A couple of them aren't, but anyway.
Ain't nothing like a good hate song.
But no, we don't have any of those. That is something I try to steer clear of as much as possible. She hears me, whether she likes to or not, writing these songs. Because I have a music room, but where I like to write best is at the kitchen table. So I'm always like, she's like, I just want to watch this show on Netflix. Could you go to your music room? And I'm like, but it just doesn't feel right.
Maybe you have to move the kitchen into the music room and vice versa.
Something like
It's
that.
a thing. I don't know. When I moved into my house now, I knew where my music room was, and that's where it is.
Perfect.
But anyway, I love your stuff. Now, do you have a even thereabouts date that your new album might be coming out? And who are you recording with? Where are you? What studio are you in?
Sure. So I lived in Santa Barbara, California for about 5 years, and that's where I met my musical soulmates, my buddy Jeff Kranzler and my buddy Dustin Jansen. And I still go back there quite frequently, many times a year, to play with them for concerts. And Jeff found a studio out there that he loved called it's Mini Horse Studios with Joel Jacks. And it's in San Ynez, California. We recorded our whole record there in 1 week and then had another week of overdubs. It's done. We're just at that point where I'm like tweaking a couple things in mixes. We're going to send it to mastering, and then we're going to release it a song at a time, I think. So you might get the whole thing first, though.
Okay.
But at
because
least the
when you're ready,
goes.
when you're ready to do that, we'll have you come on the radio so that we don't have to play all of it if you're releasing it one at a time, but we'll introduce people to that on my show.
That'd be great.
Because that's the way we do things.
We'll probably have CDs for sale that will have the whole record on it, but at least in terms of what's going to be able to be streamed online through places like Apple Music and Spotify, I think we're going to kind of stagger the release just to, milk it for all it's worth.
Right. Oh, and it makes sense in today's streaming world to do that. It really does, and I see it happen all the time. But then I have people that say to me, well, they only did one song, and I want a CD. So it makes sense to have physical CDs or physical vinyl or whatever it is that you decide to do it on. It makes sense for the old timers. I'm an old timer, and I prefer vinyl, but in the studio, CDs are easier.
Vinyl is incredibly expensive to make, and I do plan on releasing this in vinyl, but it's not going to be immediate because, the recording process is already this much money, and creating vinyl is also this much money. So.
It is. So we have to go.
I know.
Because I just got told that it's past our 2 minutes.
Sorry, guys.
So, no, not that we can talk forever. Will you take us out with a song?
Absolutely.
And he's going to be all over my pages, so please look up Bryan Titus on all these places that you see me put my stuff. And stay safe. It's the middle of the month, and you know what's coming up at the end of the month. Do something about it. Make sure you keep your kids safe. Love y'all. See y'all next week. Peace out.
All right. Let's go out with a fun one. This song is about making the best out of a bad situation. It's called The Bright Side of the Blues, and this is also going to be on my new record. Ooh! All right, here we go. A one, a two, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I woke up late this morning and I fell right out of bed. I stumbled to the kitchen, ain't no coffee to be had. So I opened up the icebox, ain't nothing but an old ham bone. She swore she'd always leave me, well maybe this time she'll stay gone. I guess that's one way to see it, on the bright side of the blues. When I pulled up to the job site, man, I tried to punch my card. But the boss man hollered at me, you ain't welcome on this yard. So I got back in my pickup for to spin some dust his way. Seems like I'm gonna be doing whatever I wanna do today. I guess that's one way to see it, on the bright side of the blues. Oh yeah. Cry a sea of tears, or drink me a river of rye. Blame the big bad world for my misery. Now I'm tired of tearing up. I drink rye whiskey, fill me up. Lost it all, but one thing I won't lose: the bright side of the blue. Yeah. Come on, Dipsy. Now when I got back to my cabin, oh, much to my dismay, well, a big wind came when I was out and it blew my roof away. So I climbed up in my bed for to rest my weary head, and I looked up to them stars above, and this is what I said: I guess that's one way to see it, on the bright side of the blue. Yeah, I guess that's one way to see it, on the bright side of the blues, on the bright side of the blues, on the bright side of the blues, on the bright side of the blues. Oh, Lord. All right, that's my song. That's the set. There we go. Thanks for having me, Dot. That was a lot of fun.